Hi everyone and welcome to Bad Car Symptoms, your place for finding out what's wrong with your car. In this video we'll mention some common symptoms that show you when the engine on your car is on its last legs. So stay tuned. Bad car symptoms. Loss of engine power. The first symptom of a failing engine is that you'll notice a significant loss in engine power. Whatever kind of tune-up or fix you do, it just doesn't feel the same. The car's reaction to the gas pedal is sluggish. This gets drastically worse over time. Poor fuel economy. Besides a sluggish engine response, you'll notice an increase in the fuel consumption. Again, it gets worse as the condition of the engine deteriorates. As a loose estimate, at first, the consumption may be 10% higher. Later, it may climb to even 50% more than usual. Color of the exhaust gases. Instead of the invisible exhaust gases coming out of the tailpipe, or maybe a bleak white color when the engine is still cold, the exhaust gases may be blue, dark, black, or have a thick white color. Any of these are not good and indicate engine problems like oil consumption, coolant consumption, and else. Mild overheating. You may also notice mild overheating. The coolant temperature will always be a bit above normal, and if the engine is really failing, you'll experience constant overheating. High oil consumption. The oil consumption will seriously increase with a failing engine. If you have to add engine oil all the time, that's a bad sign. For instance, if over a distance of 10,000 kilometers, you have to add 1 liter of oil, that's tolerable. But if you have to add a liter of engine oil every 1,000 kilometers, that's a sign of a failing engine. Coolant consumption. Besides oil, if you notice a frequent loss of coolant and there's no leaks to be noticed, heater core problems or else, you might have a failing engine. Also, if you notice thick white smoke coming from the exhaust when the engine heats up, that's also a sign of engine problems, like a blown head gasket for instance. The check engine light is on all the time. On top of all of these symptoms, you'll also constantly have the check engine light problem. Not that this is a real problem, but whatever reset you do to remove the check engine light, it will return over time. Know that on a failing engine, the vital parameters constantly change, especially if there are things like oil consumption. And this constantly triggers the check engine light. Hard cranking all the time. At first, hard cranking will appear only during the winter season, but as the engine becomes weaker, it may happen even during warmer weather. It involves long cranking without knowing if the engine will start at all. In the later phases of the problem, it doesn't matter if the engine is cold or hot, every time you'll have to do some hard cranking to start the engine. Strange noises from the engine. For the last symptom, which is perhaps the most hair-raising, this appears when the engine starts seriously failing. You may start to hear eerie and strange noises from the engine, like knocking and squeaking or grinding, which will be weak at first, but as the problem progresses, it will become ever more present. Later, these sounds become very noticeable and, at the end, very, very loud. If you hear this loud knocking and grinding from the engine, it is usually finished. The moment you notice loss of engine power, higher fuel consumption, and especially massive oil consumption, make an inspection of what's wrong with your engine. Sometimes in this phase, the engine can be repaired, rebuilt in quality, and with not that much of a cost. Try not to run the engine to the ground, as if it gets to the knocking and grinding part, it's usually good only for the scrapyard. So that's it for this time. We hope the video helps. Please like and subscribe, it's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.